Ever had a conflict with a difficult or toxic DM or GM? Ever wondered how to navigate the conflict and what strategies to use? Then stay tuned for today's episode. Hello and welcome to RPG PhD. I'm Dr. Ben, and today we'll be discussing strategies for addressing in-game conflict with a difficult or toxic DM or GM. It's important to recognize the difference between a DM who makes mistakes and one who is truly toxic. While both can be frustrating, understanding the distinction is key to approaching the situation effectively. In this video, we'll explore the signs of a toxic DM and provide actionable tips for dealing with them. Every DM makes mistakes, but what sets a toxic DM apart is intentionality. While some may not realize their behavior is problematic, awareness and improvement are crucial. This could include being a tyrannical, over-controlling DM, being adversarial, having a players versus DM mentality, intentionally being inconsistent with applying the rules, showing favoritism, or being vindictive. And of course, this is not an exhaustive list. So let's dive in and learn some strategies for how to handle a toxic DM in your games and discuss some skills that are applicable to conflict resolution in general. First, talk to your DM. Communication is key, and before assuming anything, it's important to have a chat with your DM. Express your concerns and be honest about how you feel. Don't be aggressive, instead be respectful and offer solutions to the issues you've noticed. Give specific feedback. Focus on behaviors, not the person. People tend to reject or discount feedback if it threatens their self-image. No DM is going to enjoy hearing something that sounds like an attack on them as a person, so it's far easier to convince a DM to change their behavior than it is to change their idea of what kind of person they are. So if you're giving your DM feedback, focus on what they're doing and avoid language that sounds like you're denigrating who they are. Deliver feedback in the right place. Generally speaking, people like to receive positive feedback in front of others and negative or constructive feedback in private. Don't make the mistake of giving negative feedback in the moment, in front of other players. That's a great time for praise, but constructive feedback will be most readily received if the DM feels no need to defend their reputation or save face. Talk to other players in the group and see if they share your concerns. If they do, consider approaching the DM as a group to address the issue. Although you don't want the DM to feel ganged up on, it's also important for the DM to realize that the concerns might be felt by the whole group. Set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries about what you're willing to accept or not accept in the game. If you feel that a DM's actions are unfair, voice your opinion and make sure you're heard. It's your game too. Set clear boundaries and stick to them. If your DM is making you uncomfortable or is crossing lines, don't be afraid to speak up and enforce your boundaries. Discuss and agree on rules before the game starts. To avoid confusion and frustration during gameplay, make sure to discuss and agree on any house rules or modifications to the rules before the game starts. This will help ensure everyone is on the same page. Find a mediator. If you've tried to talk to your DM and set boundaries but still find yourself in a difficult situation, consider bringing in a neutral third party to mediate the situation. This could be another player or even a friend who's experienced in playing your particular game. They can provide an objective perspective and help facilitate communication between you and your DM. Be patient. It can take time to resolve issues with a difficult DM. Be patient and try to work through the issues as a group. Set goals for improvement. Help the DM to see progress. It's important that the DM has goals and the players know what those goals are. Ask them about their goals and how they can help them improve. Then when you offer feedback, it can make it much more appealing to the DM if it's couched in terms of progress towards their goals. Consider taking a break. If the conflict is causing too much stress and tension, it may be helpful to take a break from the game for a little while. This can give everyone time to cool off and approach the situation with a fresh perspective, or if you feel things are not going to change, then maybe it's time to find a new group. Remember, the goal of the game is to have fun and enjoy the experience. It's important to prioritize your enjoyment of the game, and playing with a toxic DM can be detrimental to that experience. So now that we've taken a look at the types of actions you should take to address unwanted behaviors, now I want to share some tips about how to actually implement those. These are good skills to master for positive conflict resolution. self-awareness. It's important for each player to be aware of their own emotions and how they may be contributing to the conflict. This can involve taking a step back to reflect on what is causing frustration or anger and how it can be expressed in a constructive way. For example, a player who's upset about a ruling may need to recognize if their anger is coming from a place of feeling disrespected or if it's due to a genuine disagreement about the rules. Self-control. Players should strive to maintain control over their emotions during conflicts with DMs. This may involve taking a break to calm down before responding to a situation or being mindful of their tone and language when addressing the DM. For example, a player who is upset about feeling that something is unfair may need to take a moment to gather their thoughts before speaking rather than reacting in the moment impulsively and potentially making the situation worse. Assertive communication. Players should aim to communicate their concerns in a respectful and assertive manner. This may involve using I statements to express how they feel, rather than making accusations or placing blame. For example, a player who's upset about a ruling could say, "I feel frustrated because I thought the rule worked differently. Can you explain your interpretation?" Instead of saying, "You're wrong, that's not how the rule works." Collaboration. It's important to work together to find a solution that satisfies everyone's needs. This may involve brainstorming and considering different options and compromising when necessary. For example, if the DM ruling is causing frustration, the players could work together to find a way to modify the rule or find a different solution that addresses everyone's concerns. Problem solving. Players should strive to find alternative solutions to satisfy the needs and goals of everyone involved. This may involve considering different perspectives and being open to new ideas. For example, if the DM's ruling is causing frustration, the players could discuss potential workarounds or exceptions to that rule that could help resolve the issue. Empathy. Players should try to understand the DM's perspective and be open to seeing the situation from their point of view. This can involve active listening and asking questions to gain a deeper understanding of their reasoning. For example, a player who's upset about something could ask the DM to explain their reasoning to understand their perspective. Active listening. Players should make an effort to truly listen to each other and the DM during conflicts. This may involve paraphrasing and clarifying what others have said and avoiding interrupting or dismissing others' ideas. For example, if a player is upset about a particular behavior, the other players could actively listen to their concerns and try to understand their perspective before offering their own ideas for a solution. By following these tips, players can work towards resolving conflicts with their DM in a respectful and constructive manner. Ultimately, the goal is to find a solution that satisfies everyone's needs, allows for a fun and enjoyable gaming experience for everyone involved. And another part of this I think that's really important is this gives some of these DMs an opportunity to see the error of their ways and to make a change. If they're approached and these conversations are had in a respectful way and the group is trying to explain to them how they feel about a particular behavior or things that they would like to see changed within the game, this gives the DMs an opportunity to respond and to get better. That's why goal setting and some of those things that I mentioned earlier are so important to that. Remember, conflicts with a DM can be challenging, but there are always options available. By remaining open-minded, respectful, and communicative, players can work towards finding a solution that meets everyone's needs. I hope you enjoyed this video on strategies to deal with toxic DMs. If so, please do me a favor and like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.